I lived in a shared apartment a block from here 20 years ago. We made it work with 4 of us in a rundown flat, with 4 tiny bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a shared kitchen. Housing has only gotten more expensive since then, and Nico and I have continued to investigate how young people with limited budgets manage to live here.
Okay.
13 years ago, we filmed Felice Cohen in her 90-square-foot pad.
The first night I slept in the apartment, I had a panic attack. When I actually went up to bed and I woke up in the middle of the night and there was the ceiling. When I woke up, there was the ceiling here and the wall on every side. And then after that night, I have not had another panic attack, and I love it up here. And at night, it's cozy.
Today, 25 million people have viewed her lofted bed.
Okay, this is what it's like to work from the loft.
Alaina Randazzo was one of them. And last year, she moved into what she thought was Felice's old home.
This is water that leaked in. Yeah, ceiling is very close. So it actually might be 1 foot, like half a foot. Anytime I want the air conditioning to be hotter or colder, I have to literally physically get up and over this thing.
It wasn't a perfect fit, but at $650 a month, she could save. And after less than a year in her closet-sized home, she moved into something bigger. Microapartments aren't usually something permanent.
The bathroom is pretty big. You just gotta be careful you don't hit your knee when you're sitting on the toilet.
A year after we filmed with Felice, she also moved out after her landlord recognized the apartment in our video and evicted her for not being on the lease. She said she was ready for something bigger.
So, how do you sit on the toilet now?
I'm like normal now. I don't have to sit sideways. Really.
It's estimated there are about 3,000 apartments in New York City under the current 400 square foot minimum. These are left over from a time when renting a room was the norm for those with a lower income. In the early 20th century, New York City had blocks and blocks of residence hotels and boarding houses. From 1820 to 1860, the city's population grew by 600%, thanks mostly to newly arrived immigrants. Single-family homes were divided into multiple living spaces to fit more people. Renters paid a couple dollars a month for a room, or about a third of their income. Renting just a room made sense to those who couldn't afford bigger. By the mid-20th century, 10% of the housing market was single-room occupancy. Today, they're harder to find, but these are still an option for students or those just looking for cheaper rent.
The building used to be a hostel. It's now just small apartments, mostly students, but of course, like I live here as well, so.
And what floor are you on?
I'm on the 4th floor, so definitely keeps you in shape.
Did you have a choice? Was there much available when you looked?
When I was looking, there wasn't, but just in the last month or so, there's probably been about a half dozen available. They're just constantly changing out, yep.
So there's a lot of changeover.
A lot, yeah, especially certain times of the year because it's a lot of students.
How did you even find this?
I was just looking for something that was going to be in my price range.
What was your price range?
As cheap as possible. But it was about $1,200, and this place when I moved in was $1,000, so.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for 2.5 years now.
So you're like the veteran of the building?
The gentleman who used to live above me was here for 15.
Oh, wow.
So this is all the bathrooms, because there's no bathrooms actually in the apartments. So this is a toilet in here. There's the shower here.
Oh, the whole thing's a shower.
Right, nice overhead rain shower. It's luxury. And then of course just another bathroom, another shower, and then yet another bathroom, so.
So you don't really have to wait?
No, and if there's ever an issue with these, I can always go to another floor if I had to. And then here we are at the apartment.
So how big is this?
86 square feet. I was thinking of somewhere in the 90s, but we remeasured it. So it's 86.
Where's the kitchen?
So here's the kitchen. It's just this section of it.
Okay.
But it has everything you normally want. You have, your stove in here.
And a toaster oven?
Yep. So I could,
What can you make in there? Oh my God, that is so cute.
little tiny Pyrex. I'll make baked ziti, little cakes. It's a little cast iron I got as a gift.
What do you do with,
One hamburger. I try to see exactly how much I can do in here and what I can get away with. Just it's fun to experiment with it. I do everything you'd normally do in an apartment, but just shrunk down a lot. I had a friend over yesterday for dinner. I made us some pasta. We had our pasta dinner in here, and it just takes a while. You have to cook the sauce and then the pasta, then them together to heat it up. It's better than nothing.
He goes, okay. It smells really good.
It actually smells good.
Yeah, how many people have you had here?
The most is 6.
Cheers.
And your dining table / work table.
This is cool. I found it on the street. It's just an old school desk. Yeah. So I'm here probably 4 hours a day. I sit here 5 hours editing. I can't sit in bed and edit or else I'll get distracted and end up just watching TV or something. So I set up my stuff here and I can eat here, look outside, or if I have multiple people over, you can scooch it, put another chair over here or on the side. Yeah. All the furniture's on sliders so I can move it out of the way if I need to get here or repair my bicycle. I can do that now. And so you do this and then you stand up here and I use that for storage. And then now we have actually an extra dining table that I used to have set up in here. Yeah, I found that outside a restaurant going out of business. I cut hairs, so here's my hair cutting kit. I was originally a student in New York, which is why I was here in the first place. I have just my computer in here, but if I really want to get into editing or if I want 2 screens, I have the TV on a swivel. I really wanted to be into making movies and documentaries a lot. I can move this over and then have a keyboard and mouse and have a bigger screen and be able to do more formal editing. And
that's quite a few.
Yeah, it's been fun to do a lot. Now I've been able to do this only for a way of work since 9 months ago.
That's cool.
This way you can sort of sneak your legs in a little bit and I can sit here and read, or I'll use the table to eat my breakfast at. You can get outside, open up the window, get a lot of fresh air, which is great.
That's comfortable?
Yeah, comfortable enough for a little bit.
And that view.
Yeah, it's the back of the building, which is nice because it's quiet. When the window's open and you don't get a lot of street noise and cars, it sounds in New York.
And there's a tree, so you have some vegetation that changes probably color.
Right. It changes color a lot. It will lose its leaves. It'll get the leaves back. It always shows the weather. It adds a sense of nature out there too. It's not just looking out to buildings.
Yeah, not just a tenement, but also a tree.
Exactly, yeah.
Access to fresh air wasn't always guaranteed in New York apartments. In 1900, 1/3 of all housing in New York was tenements. To keep up with a booming population, these were built very densely, often leaving little room for natural light and air movement. By the end of the century, reformers began to advocate cleaning up what were too often inhumane conditions. The Tenement House Act of 1901 required indoor plumbing, an exterior window, and at least one room of 120 square feet. Over a decade ago, we were invited to a SoHo tenement building for a dinner party. Our friend Graham Hill had just finished converting a rundown apartment into a modern micro flat.
This main space transforms into 5 or so different spaces. And show you the master bed. This is the office over here. This is when you have guests over. This wall is pulled up. If you guys will come around the corner.
It fit 2 bedrooms, 2 workspaces, and a dining room for 12, and he was eager to show it off.
And then there's another one over there. And so you can sleep 1 or 2 here, and then 1 or 2 in here. So conceivably 4 comfortably in a 400 square foot apartment.
Grand's transformer wall made headlines. But transforming furniture has been around for a while. 12 years ago, Luke Clarke Taylor invited us to tour his rented room in a former 1910 boarding house where he had created his own custom wall bed.
So this is my place. It's 78 square feet. For the bed, I gotta move the couch cushions. If you have a bed in this space, it kind of closes everything off. So I built the bed so that it could just kind of tuck away, kind of like a Murphy bed, but the other direction. And then it just hinges down. So this is the bed. Ta-da! It's super easy. And then the hardest part is making the bed, but everyone knows that if you have the bed up against the corner. And then when you're done, you just put it back up and you've got your living room again. And then it becomes a couch. So this way it's a lot easier for me to kind of hang out. So for tea, I'm gonna have to fill up my cup in the bathroom. This is the bathroom that myself, and then there are 3 other apartments that are similar size. So the 4 of us use this. I grew up in our family, we only had 1 bathroom for the family. So I'm used to, you just hold it 5 minutes if you have to, you know, whatever. I guess everyone chooses how they want to spend their money. And of course I could get a bigger place, I guess, but I like the compact nature of it. So you can just prop your feet up on the wall.
This was Luke's second single-room rental in New York, and he'd had to build his own furniture for both.
And you go like so.
The same year we met Luke, we met another New Yorker trying to bring off-the-shelf transforming furniture to the masses.
And you see a bed, and the bed actually stays in place, and now you can bring the bed down.
Much of what he was selling had been designed by the Italian company Clay. But Ron Barth thought these pieces could work for every New Yorker.
You have a 7-foot desk. On this side, you have 3.5 feet of hanging. And then with a little bit of pressure on the desk, down comes your bed. You have 14 feet of shelves behind the bed. You have your bed. You have your folding headboard, as is typical. So, now when you look at that 2nd bedroom or that 3rd bedroom, which used to be a closet that got a window installed in it by a developer, now suddenly it becomes a functional bedroom.
You just push in the middle. That's bad. Exactly.
There's the bed.
This year, when we returned to Manhattan, it did seem transforming furniture was everywhere.
What about the lamps? You go.
And microapartments now come preloaded.
Guys, what about the lamp?
Hi.
Wow. So how big is this?
Roughly 80 square feet.
Do you know what it was? Was it a closet?
I mean, no, actually it wasn't. These are all just micro units in this building that I live in, but I believe everyone else's is just like this.
Yeah. So it was built just to be tiny apartments?
Yep. Do you want me to show you the bed? This thing just pulls out right here. Just like, oops.
With a noise.
With a little fun little airy noise. I'm actually it's like a spaceship kind of. So everything came with it. They provided the mattress, a new mattress, obviously.
Yeah. You kind of have to have built-in furniture here. I mean, there's no loft.
There's no loft. But I actually really love this Murphy bed. I love how it's designed. And then every morning I literally just lift it right back up, just like this.
You don't seem to be making a lot of effort.
Yep. All you have to do is just send it the fun little noise. And then, yes, that's it.
So the hydraulics are what make it so easy.
Yes.
How comfortable is?
There you go. Yes, it's very comfortable. I love it. Yes. It is. So I actually did put a topper there. And it's funny because it slides a little bit because of the gravity, but I'm used to camping. I'm used to hiking. So one day I would love to live in a van. So I actually explain to people, I tell people I basically live in an RV without wheels. But this is very comfy to me. I love it. So
because it doesn't look like a flimsy little Murphy bed, kind of, or couch sofa bed.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, they always provide the new tent with a new mattress. I love it.
It's not sofa bed living. Like those thin little sofa beds that pull out and you're like,
Nothing like that. Nope, it's an actual bed. Yeah. And then you close it up just like that. This converts into like a desk, which I only use as like if I'm folding laundry or something. I'll go to a coffee shop or something if I need to do any kind of work. And then I just slide everything back in, and all these wicker baskets, here's all my bedding right here. And then I use these as just like bags. And
thing you do have actually a lot of bags.
I do. As a personal trainer, you know, I'm always commuting around the city. So these are I'm a big runner. I just ran 2 marathons back to back with my best friend, but these are my dirty running shoes. And I can show you where I keep all my other shoes and clothes. In my foyer.
Where are you?
We're in the foyer. And then in the bedroom. That's it. So just like that. And that's one of the best things actually, is that it takes me 2 seconds to get from one place to the other. So I do keep most of my shoes in here.
So shoes and bags, that's your thing.
Shoes and bags and in its proper place. And then I like empty spots. So, and I can also say this because I was once a hoarder. Almost a hoarder, that sounds terrible. Before, like in college, I kept every little thing because I'm a very sentimental person as well. And it was crazy. And I moved to Hawaii. I racked up a lot of debt while I was in Hawaii. And it was then that I realized I need to get out of debt. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just sell a bunch of my stuff that I don't need, that's not being put to use, and paid off the debt with the stuff that I wasn't using. And I realized I don't need to own a lot. I put these in myself actually. As you can see that rod up there, you can hang things, but I decided not to use that. So I put these in, so I just fold. A huge win here is that I'm 4'11", so I don't know if someone who is 5'11" could live here. Maybe, actually I shouldn't say that. You guys could live here, totally. It's just all about how you utilize your space and stuff. Anyway, so now we're in the living room, bedroom, living room, kitchen. I do love like the little separation here. And as you can see, like, again, huge believer in not keeping anything out, right? So my air fryer, my one pot, my one pan, I just need everything just is immediately put away after I use it, but I don't need to have it out or whatnot, you know? All right, the bathroom, here we go.
Yeah, okay.
So this is it, you know, and then just right over here is the shower. Just what you need, that's it. As you can see, there's no sink in here, so I do brush my teeth in the kitchen. And this is my living area and my couch, yes. This is the only chair I have, so honestly, a lot of the time I'm literally just like sprawled out like I grew up with a lot of space in Texas, and a lot of people are like, do you ever want something bigger? And as far as right now goes, no, not at all, because of the community that I have out here. Very thankful that at the snap of a finger, I could just be like out my door and I'm at my friends in 5 minutes.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. So I definitely don't miss the space. Home is my lifestyle. It's running alongside my friends. They are my home.
In 1965, there were about 100,000 single-room occupancy units in the city. But over the following decades, developers began to convert them to larger units. In 1987, New York restricted new apartments to a 400 square foot minimum. Smaller flats were grandfathered in. But as interest in microapartments grew again in the 2010s, the city decided to experiment and allow the building of new micro units. Carmel Place opened in 2016 with 55 apartments, some as small as 260 square feet. But the code still requires one room of 150 square feet, and this doesn't include closet, kitchen, or bathroom space.
When we shrink an apartment, we are not allowed to shrink the kitchen and bathroom beyond what is required for accessibility. So what we are shrinking is the sleeping and living space.
Only 7% of the city's housing stock are studio apartments.
This is called a Juliet balcony, which is a fancy term for not really a balcony.
And yet more than half of all Manhattan residents live alone. Most of the people we saw at Carmel Place were young. But 16% of Manhattanites are over 65.
Hi. Kirsten, nice to meet you.
Michael.
Hi.
Michael and his wife recently moved back to the city after raising their son in the suburbs.
So what do you want me to do? I want to take it down.
So right underneath the center, follow the seam.
Yeah.
There's a handle under there,
Yeah.
just like this.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. So give it a good pull. I'm here to support you.
Okay.
Just get ready to catch it.
All right. Because sooner or later, I'm going to have to do this myself.
He was still learning to work some of the furniture.
All right. I think it's getting a good grip on that lever. Okay. Okay.
Had you seen a Murphy bed before? I mean, even growing up in New York, like is this?
Oh, yeah. In my first year of medical school, it was in like a studio apartment. And it came with a Murphy bed. It was like maybe half the size of this thing. And it came with a pull-out Murphy bed. So I had to do it every day, and I liked it. It was one of the most comfortable beds I've ever slept in.
But do you want to just demonstrate this and pull this out?
Sure, definitely. Very easy. It goes out as far as this. It could sit, what, 8 or 6?
12.
12, you're right. Plenty of room for a Passover Seder. It could probably go out a little bit further, but it's going to hit this. Here we go.
You want to handle this?
Yeah, I'll handle this. I think I will. We lived here on the Upper West Side from 1974 up to 1986.
You want to grab the others?
Yeah. We were here before the renaissance of the Upper West Side, and gentrification was just beginning. Yeah, I have a bad back, but no, that's okay. And then we had my son, and then we decided we wanted to raise him outside of the city. Yeah.
There you go, just like that.
We came back because it would be better to live in the city than up in Westchester where you need a car. You don't have to drive. We like to walk. That's what we were looking for, maximizing our space. I mean, we only have a few closets. We have our own stuff, our clothes and other things. So if it wasn't for this type of what you call a modular design, I don't know where we would be able to put this stuff. There you go. Yeah.
Because you came from a bigger house.
A much bigger house. If you eyeball it, you could probably put 1 here, 3 here, and 1 here. And I could go more. I mean...
At your suburban home, you had a large table, probably.
I had a large table and I had a dining room.
So you had to downsize.
Put it mildly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I had to. I had 4-bedroom houses, and I had two fireplaces, and it was a big house on an acre and a half land.
So you had a living room, a dining room, a guest bedroom.
I had 4 bedrooms, and I had a study. I mean,
Right.
See, I'm glad you guys came, because this is a good learning moment for me. I could see us calling up Lauren. I have 6 people here. I don't know how to open this friggin' thing.
So you wanted an office as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of wall
Yeah, I mean, one of my goals wherever I lived was having a study or an office for my own books and things like that. Plenty of space. I have plenty of books. We have lots of records. These are all Laura's. These are all like Barbra Streisand and that era. You know, the Beatles.
I mean, I like how it does feel like different places. Like this whole area feels like an office because of this whole entire wall, and then that feels.
Well, yeah. I mean, most days it is an office.
It is, yeah. We spend a lot of time here reading or.
Yeah. I write. You know, I write short stories, and I'm writing a book. Not that I'm not a writer. I just write. You know.
Fiction, nonfiction.
Fiction.
Wow. So this is a new career as well.
It's not a career.
Okay, not career, hobby, whatever you want to call it.
It's a hobby.
Okay.
Like people play golf, they dabble in stamps.
This is a nice little coffee table that actually can raise up, pull up some chairs, and then you can lower it to whatever height you want, down to its lowest height there. Yeah.
Very smooth.
I use this every day.
You move it every day?
Well, I usually, the chair is set up here, and then I move it over here, so it's in line with the TV, okay? And the TV, and then the TV is on a swivel, and I put it like this. I usually eat my meals here, we eat our meals here, and...
That's your dining table?
That is my dining table.
Did you think you would retire in New York City? Did you always think that you would come back?
Yeah.
That was, why? Why did you always have that in your head?
Well, it was like in the scheme of things, you know, we liked living in this city before we moved. Before you have kids, you have your careers, and you get rid of that, and then you go into the family thing, and then when they're out, when that's taken care of, then you go on to something else. And it all boils down to we need a place to live. Really, that's it.
Okay, I'm following.